Hello YouTube, Beatty from the bedroom here. Why is the G string always out of tune? Name that tune. Hold on to it. Yeah, hey everybody, this is, did I say Beanie from the bedroom? I don't even remember. But this is my Eddie Van Halen signature guitar, made in Mexico. Oh, you know what I should have did? You're all wondering, Beanie, what's that red button for? That's for Morse code. Yeah, that's if you have to send Morse code. That's what that's for. This is a super lightweight guitar. I'm going to say this is about maybe almost 7 pounds. This is my scale arm. Never lies to me. Who makes this? Does Fender make this or Chagall? I think it's all the same thing. This is the charcoal Popular Burl. I've had this guitar for a while. I honestly don't remember when I bought it. I think I bought it in a year or two ago. 21. I don't know. Serial number is EVH 2002922. So if you're one of those serial buffs, I'm only good with it on Fenders. Yeah, really Fenders, because the book I read on it kind of educated me on it. But I'm not 100% on anything else. That's the kind of headstock in the back. It's got like this little, it's like a flute, but it's the way Eddie likes it, with the screws going right through for the locking nut. And here's your hockey stick. So if you're bored, you could, play some hockey with it, or the upside down banana, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? It's got the drop D, which I never use because I don't play that kind of like almost like metal or drop D stuff. I don't play anything of I don't play any Eddie Van Halen songs. Out of my set list that I used to play, it was half my original songs and the other half was cover tunes, and my drummer was a big Mitch Mitchell fan, so I mostly had to play Jimi Hendrix songs because that's what he loved. And the only song that I loved playing all the time was Rush's Working Man. But this, I have to tell you, it's got an ebony fingerboard, which, I love ebony fingerboards. If you've seen any of my videos before, I forgot to count down 9 or 10. The guitars that I have are ebony fingerboards because that's how much I like them. Isn't that crazy? White Dot Inlays. They look like clay Dot Inlays. I've had older Fenders. I had a 62 and a 66. And it's the kind of inlays that were on those older Fenders. 22 medium jumbo frets, I do believe, because they sure as hell don't look like jumbo frets compared to other guitars that I have. Nickel plated, so yeah, you got to keep them clean. I'll have to be honest with you. This is very sharp fret ends. They're not rounded, they're not polished, they're not dressed, they're not whatever you want to call it. Everyone's got their own terminology for it. But they need to be a little filed down. They need to be a little bit smoother because, man, you feel it coming down. And if I go too, like just right then, you know, thought I was taking some skin off. I go too fast, I might pull in an Yngwie Malmsteen where he played his guitar so hard, you know, he always mainly cuts his fingers sometimes. But regular EVH tuners on the back, you don't really need tuners. It's just something to hold the strings because you have a locking nut, because you could do this. And they hang off like a telephone pole cable. It stays in tune. I have it set as a floating bridge, so it's not completely flat. I can pull back on it a little bit because I like to have that kind of thing going. I know it's just don't like. I just don't like to dive bomb. Use my lips properly. Maybe you can understand what I'm saying. It's got the screw-on arm. You can leave it loose and have it swinging anywhere you want it to go. I like all the arms tight and in one position. So when I'm playing, it's right there. I can do that with it. I like the, I kind of do and I kind of don't like the toggle switch up here. I think, I don't know, because when I play it, it's like, for example, if I'm doing the tapping, it's right there by my wrist. You hear that? That was my wrist taking it from the bridge pickup, which is really mainly what you use on here, and kicking it right out. They're the open side with the ribbons on the pickups. They're not wax dipped, which I would think they would have been. They're the Eddie Van Halen or Wolfgang pickups, I think they were. It's been a while since I read up on this. When I read up on it when I first got it. The neck pickup, it's the muddiest, warm, dark sounding pickup. More so than the pickups that are on the Ibanez Steve Vai Gems. He likes his pickups really dark and dirty. I don't know why, because he's such a monster player. I don't know why you want it that dirty. You want to be able to clarify your notes and hear one from the other. But this pickup, you know, is super muddy. I think I did do like 2 seconds on it, but I don't like it. So yeah, that's what the deal is with the pickup there. Hello. It kind of works when you turn the volume knob on, right? Hello. Wow. They're a bit microphonic. I could hear it. I could hear the echo coming through the amp. That's disappointing. You know, for an Eddie Van Halen guitar, you know, you expect a little bit more. I do. I would think so. But this isn't the $1,500, you know, Frankenstein copy. It's not the, what was it, $20,000 original, the one that Fender made. These are so sharp. I could actually saw wood with this, the frets on this. Let's talk about the Frankenstein. I was in Orlando once, and the Fender custom shop Frankenstein guitar was being sold out of Sam Ash for $10,000. And I was on vacation at the time, and I was thinking it over with my wife, and I said, you know what, I'm thinking about like putting this on a credit card, because I know these things are selling for a lot more. And I really ran it by her really for her to shoot me down and say, what are you, crazy? $10,000 for a guitar? You know, like, forget that. And she went along with it. She said, yeah, go ahead. That's a good idea. Okay. And then I got nervous. It's like almost like buyer's regret without buying something. And I was like, oh man, I don't know, because if I buy this thing for 10 grand and I don't get my 10 grand back out of it, you know. So that's the battle I was having in my head by myself the rest of the vacation. Always thinking, okay, before we leave, I could always go back and buy that thing. And I didn't. And I kid you not, I got back, and the very next day I looked it up, and they were selling used on eBay for $25,000. $25,000. Yeah. So regrets, I had a few. That's one of them. It's got the speed knob. This is it? No, this is nice and tight, which is good because I like the tone, like I said, like around 7 and 8 on all my guitars. And this is like super fast. I don't like this fast. If I were to play this all the time, this is the kind that's got the little set Allen key, loosen it up, and pop some foam underneath there, and then tighten it back down. Put it back on and tighten it back up, I should say, so that when I have it on full volume, it stays on full volume. I'm afraid, like using the whammy bar. Like, see, as I grab up on the whammy bar, I just turn the volume down. See, I grab up, see, boom, and that's how quick that worked. This is the cutoff switch, the dead switch, the dead man switch, whatever you want to call it. Is pretty cool, again, because look, as you use the whammy bar or wiggle stick and you come down, look what hits your fingers. And you heard it before when I was just like messing around with it. I came down on a bar and I shut the power off, and I thought maybe, oh, did I step on the cord? Did I unplug it? You know, and then I realized, oh, that's the dead switch. What would be cooler is if this had a light, if this lit up. You know, that would be super cool. Contoured here. A nice small, medium, between, I guess, a standard Fender size, but for some reason maybe because of the weight, and it just looks a little bit smaller than normal. So, Eddie's a little guy, so maybe he likes the small bodies. I know he started with a Fender, and then he was messing around. He had his Gibsons in the day, and he actually went for the Kramer body. B stock. Isn't that funny? Stuff that that they were saying to him has imperfections in it, and he got the neck and the body, and you know what happened from there. This is a B stock, another one. Believe it or not. No, it's the tremolo system. I got this from American Music, and it was $700. I don't know what they're selling for now, but I know that this was like, I think it was like $899, $900. I'm just gonna, I really don't know. I don't want to make a number up off the top of my head. I just want to have a number just to satisfy my the direction I'm going. But I think these were like $900, and they had one that said, as I'm looking through them, I'm looking through the bodies and all, and the blue one looked a bit, eye-catching, like popping out blue. You know what I mean? Like really will get someone's attention. You could probably use that and flag a plane down up in the sky if you were stranded on a desert island. And it said, buy a B stock or whatever the terminology that they used for $700. So I said fine. I clicked on it. I put it in my basket. I went right to checkout because I figured it's the only one there. And a day later, I get an email before. You know how you normally get like the email like the next day. Okay, thank you for your order, and as soon as UPS picks it up, we'll give you a tracking number, and then you get a label was produced, and then UPS picked it up, and estimated time when you're gonna get. I got an email from them saying, for $8 more, I think it was, I can get a brand new one. No, that's what it was. For $89 more. And it said, for just $89 more, you can get a brand new one with no issues. And I'm like, is that a scam? Do they not have, a B stock for $700, but they use that to try to get people to say, hey, all right, I'll go for it. I said, no, thanks. I'm not a rich person. I don't have money to spend. This is all I can afford. And I had it within 5 days of UPS shipping. I'm not sure where American Music was. I thought it was New York, but I could be wrong. I really don't remember at this point because I bought it, like I said, like a year and a half ago, year and a half. And I finally got the guitar, and I'm looking it over, and just like all the other guitars that I bought that are B stock, it's got nothing wrong with it. Nothing that I could find. Not that, again, for $700, you don't expect to see much on it. For a $700 guitar made in Mexico, you would think that the quality is a little bit better because, the Fender went to Mexico, with a lot of their guitars, and they're pretty good, they're decent guitars. They're good guitars made in Mexico. It's, I'm not prejudiced as to what country it's made in or who makes it, as long as it's still a good quality instrument. Yeah, this thing is fantastic. It's a rocking guitar. I wish it had 24 frets because I prefer 24 frets with a Floyd Rose on a Strat, for rocking out. I love the two humbuckers because you don't need single coil when you're playing rock and roll or heavy rock or fusion. They do have on each side of the pickup dos screws. So 2 screws here, 2 screws here, two. I guess to stabilize the pickup, which is good because you would think that it's going to hold the pickup right to the body, but the pickup has a bit of an angle on the body. So this one, the bridge, is perfectly flat and level. This one, the neck, has a bit of an angle on it. So I'm wondering now if I could just tighten up on those 2 screws in the back and have it level out. Oh, and there you have it. See that? So, now I went back. That's good. So there you go. There's the jack. Jack, yeah. There you are. That's about it. I saved my commentary or comments till the end in case I'm done reviewing it. Oh yeah, by the way, I only have 2 screws because anything with a Floyd Rose, you're constantly checking the setup on it, and between tuning it here, sometimes when these are maxed out, you've got to unlock the nut, you got to bring these back up again, you got to put it in tune, lock the nut, put it in tune again using these, because you want some play. You want to be able to have a lot of threading on there to keep it in tune. You're constantly tuning it with these, and it's moving around, and sometimes you just got to pull the back plate because it doesn't have the holes to get to the screws, and you got to operate with the springs on the back. So that's why most every guitar that I have that's got a Floyd Rose on it, I just have the 2 screws in the plate in the back there. So it's easier to remove, unless I have ones that have that hole where you can fit the screwdriver in, which is sweet. But back to what I was going to say. Eddie's a small guy, so this is lightweight. It does. I could be wrong on the measurements, but it just looks a little bit smaller. Just a little bit. The body's just a little bit smaller. I think almost like the Robert Cray guitar. Cray. His guitar. Maybe he's a big guy. I don't know. I've never seen him in person, but his guitar looks like a little mini Fender Stratocaster in his hand while he's playing it. So maybe this is a little bit smaller, but it's not that heavy. It's got an okay weight to it. But he's a small guy. Maybe he likes that. But I ran into him, and believe it or not, I was me and my wife were getting married the week before, and we went to Danford's in Port Jeff, and to pick out a honeymoon suite for the night, because the next day we're on a plane going on a honeymoon. So the day of the wedding, we can go right to the room, spend the night there, and hop on the plane a day or so later to head to Hawaii. So as we come down and we pick out what suite we want, as we're walking out, this guy, he looked like almost like a little old man, short hair, or I should say he looked like Eddie Van Halen lookalike, but older than what I picture Eddie Van Halen to be, because I just remember him from all the videos from the 80s. And he checked in and he walked past, and he's got the luggage with the handle on it, with the wheels on it. And Danford's doesn't have an elevator. It's a very old upscale hotel and restaurant right on the water of the docks in Port Jeff. And he's pulling this thing up as if it's got bricks in it, one step at a time. He walks past me and he says hi. I say hi back to him, and then I have that double take, and that that light bulb in my brain goes off saying, that looks like Eddie Van Halen. So I said to the girl behind the counter, she was a teenager, working on the weekends, probably still in school, doesn't know who Eddie Van Halen is. I said, excuse me, that guy that just checked in going up the stairs, is his name Eddie? She walks over to the little box, the old-fashioned hotel, the box, and pulls the card out. Yeah, puts it away. I said, walks away from it. I said, Van Halen? Is Van Halen the last name? Walks back over again, pulls it. Yeah. So I go, honey, that's Eddie Van Halen. And she said, go get him. So the dude that another teenager that was showing us, the rooms for us to pick one out. I said, dude, that's Eddie Van Halen. You know who Eddie Van Halen? He goes, yeah. He says, let's go say hi. He grabs a pen and a paper from the counter, the front desk. We get up around where the stairs go and down the hallway, and he's getting ready to open his door, and he's having a problem getting those plastic keys into the door. And so luckily for us, he may have been in the room already, but between him getting the luggage up the stairs and fussing with the door, I walked down the hallway, and I don't normally do this, but I just said, hey Eddie. And he just like when I met Richie Blackmore, he just turns around and puts his hand out, and I'm shaking his hand, and he's like, how you guys doing, what's going on? And that's all I remember. He's shaking my hand and he's talking to me, and again I'm having that conversation in my head. I'm shaking Eddie Van Halen's hand. Eddie Van Halen's talking to me, but I'm having this conversation in my head, and I'm ignoring him, and he's looking at me probably thinking, what's this guy on, what's up with him? Then I snap out of it, and I try to play catch up, like, oh yeah, I'm doing all right, how are you? And it was a big hallway, because like I said, it's an old-fashioned hotel, and they had some kind of cabinet, curio cabinet, big, and it came up to your chest, and his door was here, the cabinet was here, so he walks over to the cabinet, puts his elbow up on it, I can't do it with that one, puts his elbow up on it, leans on it, and says, so what's going on, guys? What's doing? And I'm like, I'm hanging out with Eddie Van Halen in the hallway across from his room. I don't know how much time went by. We were just talking, just going back and forth. I was so starstruck. I really don't remember. I was like, my head was in the stars. I was like, like still dumbfounded that I'm hanging out with Eddie Van Halen, and then his assistant comes. I don't know how much longer, about 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, and she comes down the hall, and we're like, hey, how you doing? And he goes, oh, that's my assistant. So she gets into the door and goes in, and the guy says, oh, that's a nice room. So Eddie says, is that nicer than my room? And he goes, no. He said, your room is just as nice. So it was funny that he was thinking, did my assistant get a better room than I did? I don't think so, But they were almost identical from what the kid told me. So after that, he just said, I didn't run out of conversation. I didn't have conversation. I didn't know what to say to the guy. So he just said, I got to get going. My fiance is waiting for me, down in the lobby. So he's like, okay, shakes our hand again and says, please guys, just don't tell anyone that I'm here. So I didn't. I was like, okay, cool. We we had to show him how to use the key to open the door to get in. It was one of those keys where you didn't know the front or the back. It didn't have like a label on it, or it didn't have like a barcode where So it was a bit confusing. It wasn't his fault. So he gets into the room and we leave. And I have a couple of best friends since kindergarten, since third grade, since 1982, and in the 90s. That I didn't say a word to. I have a guy, a friend of mine that's a painter at a body shop, that is a big Eddie Van Halen fan, and I kept to my word. I didn't say anything to anybody till about a week later, and then I'm where the guy is at the body shop, and I'm talking to him, and the food truck comes up, and the guy, and this is another Eddie Van Halen fan. He says to my buddy Vinny, the painter, he said, someone said they saw Eddie Van Halen and poor Jeff at Danforth's. And Eddie's like, oh, you gotta be kidding. Vinny says, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And then I told him the whole story, and I thought he'd be pissed at me for not saying anything to him. But he was like, look, yeah, dude, I understand that, that was good. So that's the end of that. I've taken enough time. I can see it's going on 27 minutes. I don't like putting videos past 10, 15 minutes. I don't want people to get bored with it. So yeah, that's it. If you're interested, if this is something that you're into or floats your boat, I've always been something with the Floyd Rose and humbuckers, because even though I'm like a jazz fusion kind of background, I'm a rocker deep down. So have a good day and a better tomorrow.